Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Rule the Waves in our French Succession series with the historical gamer XTRG and myself, Tortuga Power. So this is it. I suspect this will be the last episode of Turtle Power, Admiral Turtle's reign, or direction, I guess, over the French Navy. And that's because we're only about 6 months away from completion here. And looking at it, considering it's basically game over for the war against England, Great Britain's basically all but surrendered. They don't have any forces to fight us with. We've knocked them down from the mid-20s in terms of dreadnoughts down to 9 dreadnoughts. We've knocked them down from 15 or 16 or something battlecruisers to 0. Now, the long-term effects of this are that Great Britain is going to be a very challenging foe. If we were to play this all the way into like the 1940s, in another 10 years, we've essentially sunk all the dead weight of the Royal Navy fleet. So all the old dreadnoughts are now resting at the bottom. We've essentially scrapped the dreadnoughts for Great Britain, for the British. So all the new ships they're building are going to be very high quality ships. We can already notice this, that the new battle cruisers they're building, they have 7 for a total of 270. So this is averaging 40,000 tons. 39,000 tons, I guess. No, more than that. Yeah, about 40,000 tons per ship. 39.5, I guess. Something like that. And over here we can see that they have 9 which have 246, which puts them at about 28,000 per. But the new ones they're building, the 4 new ones, are at about 140,000 each, which means that their tonnage is, again, around 35,000. So really high numbers that we're dealing with here. So they're going to have really good ships coming in. They won't have many of them because they're quite expensive, but they do have a lot. And look what the war has done to the British budget. Because of the people complaining, the unrest, everything, this was at one point over $1 billion. And now it's been dropped by about 20%. Which is just drastic effects have been happening here. So that's my kind of recap of this war. I'll try to do a recap of this at the end of this episode. I might need a moment to collect my thoughts. But, okay, so we lost another minesweeper. That does remind me, okay, the Duquesne is still out doing work. We'll probably decline a lot of these actions. Maybe we'll accept one last final fleet battle. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, we got our Gamer Aléatoire out. And I don't think we'll have an opportunity to showcase her. I would love it if that was the case. And this has actually given us enough budget to do, we can build a new ship if we want. What I think we should do is how many submarines are the British projected to have? Yeah, so this is the typical response. What we see is the British, losing the war, are just going to dive completely into submarine building. 74 are under construction. They only have 18 out right now, though. So what I want to do is retrofit just at least one minesweeper. Any of these will do. We'll retrofit the original. Why not? So basically, I just want to save her and keep this ship. Somebody asked if you can put mines on. Let's see. So I don't think, perhaps you're not allowed to retrofit mines on. Yeah, and I don't plan on doing anything special with this ship. It's actually serving its purpose exactly how I want it to. Oh, no. Sorry. I did open design. I want to do open design for rebuild. We'll just save it again. I don't think there's any change that we need to do. Yeah, I know the fire control isn't the best, but it doesn't need to be. And then with that new one that we've now built, I'm just going to build some more ships with that new refit. Might as well build 10 more. I think these things are so effective. Okay, let's just do 8 because it looks like they're a little bit more expensive than I thought. Okay, very good. And those will finish pretty quickly. And we have these ships coming up pretty close. Yeah, basically we have 2 of these ships should finish at the very end of my tenure, and then 3 of them will finish right at the very beginning of XTRG's reign. which is going to be perfect for him. That's going to clear up a lot of budget. So we can kind of tax the budget. We've already built up a nice little stockpile of money. I don't like this phrasing here. The Navy can fight on if needed. We're dominating them. Just in the greatest way possible, we have just annihilated the British fleet. So I think we'll choose this last one. There it is. A peace is concluded with our side gaining some concessions and minor territories. Okay. In the aftermath, the naval budget is considerably reduced. What? We don't actually take any territories? No. They wouldn't. They wouldn't. They did. Oh my gosh. Well, that's really upsetting. We fought the British tooth and nail, eliminated the mighty Royal Navy, brought it to her knees, and the consequences were just basically nothing. Small territorial gains. A very disappointing moment. I'm not like too stunted by it, but I would be, perhaps, or I should be. Oh well, we'll just get back to the affair of directing the Navy. So I think our politicians have failed us. That we surely should have gotten amazing gains out of that, but we didn't. So we're going to replace their machinery, switch this over to oil. We're going to get rid of the forward and aft ones. I don't like those. The 4 on the side is fine. These are the typical ones you want to fire. Do we have better 7-inch guns? No. It's kind of unfortunate. Okay, wow. So wait, can we see this again? Is it really 17 million just to rebuild? Yeah, it is. Okay, so we switch it over to oil. It'll cost a little more money as well. That makes sense. Too bad we can't get any of those things up, but with the extra space, we might as well put the turrets up to 2.5 each. Secondaries at 1 doesn't really make sense. Might as well put them up to 2. It's like turret top doesn't really need to be at 2.5, I mean. 2's fine. Yeah, I think that's probably how we'll leave this ship. Oh yeah, we can go all the way up to Advanced Director. And this thing needs a little bit more ammunition. So we'll get this up to 130. Well, we could increase the speed. No. 28 is going to be fine for this. It's a bit of a heavy ship, so its strength is not in running quickly. Especially because it's a bit old, its strength is in fighting close. So we'll leave it at that. But it will be much superior. This thing was on central firing, wasn't it? So it's going to be greatly improved when it comes back. Okay. We'll rebuild it. It's going to be a bit expensive. We're just going to smash our budget. Okay, that stockpile of money I talked about will be gone almost instantly. I think we can rebuild 2 more of them without totally sabotaging our budget. Yeah, that'll give us... I was trying to get at least 3 more months out of it. Okay, very good. So, we'll do this. Screen formation for destroyers. Basically 2 more months. Are there any ships we want to do anything with, like reserve fleet or anything? The thing is, the Napoli is now in great fighting shape because I think we rebuilt her. Yeah, quality 1, improved director, and I mean, we're going to have to fix all these guys to be advanced director, but except for the gamer aléatoire, this is already starting with advanced, which is great news. Okay. Alright, we don't have enough, so we'll have to put something on hold. Why don't we pause? Oh my gosh, we're so close. We're only 2 months away. But also means we're only 2 months away from finishing our term. Okay, we're down to nothing. Oh dear. Alright, so we're going to have to put a few of these on hold. It's just going to have to happen. Halt these. Okay, we still need maybe another one of these on hold. Okay, good. We can make it 1 more month. And they're both commissioned. Very good. So now we have a little bit of money to play with. And it's our last month. Just like that. Only 10 minutes in. Well, get up to 11 million here. I think I want to design one last ship. So let's take a look at the state of affairs for our fleet. We're going to have to upgrade the diamonds. Let me actually write these things down. Actually, it doesn't matter. I'll just go back and listen to my own recording. We want to upgrade the diamonds. The arquebus we need to upgrade as well. 1925. That's only 4 years old. Actually, this one's okay. And I highly recommend, this has been a fantastic destroyer. Although I have to say that Escapette has been also equally fantastic. Slightly more expensive, of course, but they have performed really well. Much better than I expected. So much so that it might actually have changed my mind about how I will design destroyers in the future. Which is exceptionally high praise. Let's just take a look at the arc. Yeah, it's weird. They can only fire one forward. I feel like two in line would be better. Yeah, I really don't know, but they were exceptional ships. These as well only have... If they were 1 and 2, they'd both be able to fire forward, which I could see some sense in that, but... Yeah. Huh. Anyway, the ships have done really well, so I can't really complain about any of them. I don't really think it's time to scrap these ships. These Lavoisier and Sardinias, they're actually still relatively effective. Like, I'd like to spend time designing them, redesigning all these, because I'd like to leave such an impact on XTRG's tenure, but I'm not going to. We'll let him do what he wants. Hopefully he won't build any more short-range battlecruisers, though. That was annoying that the Tourville was stuck in the Mediterranean and wasn't able to raid, which is, of course, what you'd imagine battlecruisers would do. We're going to have to retrofit the THG-2s with quality 1 17-inch guns, which is going to be quite expensive, but I think that everyone would agree that they're worth it. The Devastation probably doesn't need any retrofits, actually. 1923, okay, it probably does need just a simple one to go up to Advanced Director. And it is coal. Okay, that's interesting. So it probably should be retrofitted to oil. Alright, so I don't want to saddle XTRG with too much of a debt. So let's just maybe design one last Dreadnought for fun. And this is absolutely not going to be what I design. Let's see here. I'm not really saying much. I think for the design of this ship, I'm going to have a dual forward-firing quad turrets and no rear turret, which is going to save us a lot of weight. So remember the THG, let's just compare. We're at negative 1250. Maybe decrease this. Let me decrease it twice and just add, what if we just add aft superimposed a double? So negative 1250 has now increased to negative 1900. So an increase of 600 pounds in order to split our turrets both forward and aft. I think I like it better as we have it here. Now this has as many, wait. No, it doesn't. The THG-2 has 14 17-inch guns. But that's okay. Let's make this one a little bit lighter, intentionally, so that more of them can be built. I want to kind of bring up the... Can I do this? Oh, I can. Very good. So we can use this as our benchmark. 12, 3, 12 and a half. So I think we'll stick with 12. 3 should go up to 3.5, and 12.5 definitely has to go up to 14. In fact, I'd like to make this a range fighter as well. Okay, but we've seen how visibility still usually limits you to about 20,000, 25,000 yards. So we'll leave it at 3.5. This is sufficient. It's sufficient. Okay. I kind of actually like it already the way it is. What would it take to get this? 43,000? That's not a bad deal. So what we're dealing with here is 39,000 yards. Holy cow. And look at the penetration specs on this. I mean, it's going to penetrate any armor, belt, or deck. Whenever it's firing, it's going to penetrate. Just plainly put. We could, let's see. We don't have any short-range ships right now, so we could make this a short-range ship. But that does greatly restrict it, and we've actually been able to get 43,000. So this is actually only $5 million a month to build. Wow. That is awesome. Okay, and then I think I'll call this La France. This is... I feel like this should be the main ship of the French fleet, the main dreadnought of the French fleet to come, like for ages to come. And after Admiral Turtle's exceptional victory over the Royal Navy, bringing the British to their knees, I believe that France was willing to give him, despite the cost, would be willing to give him the La France class, which should perform exceptionally. It can take like a great number of torpedo hits before going down. Really good armor from any range. In fact, with the little bit of weight left over, we might as well just get this conning tower up to 16 even. Unrivaled in terms of armor. I think 6 turret top is just, it means it'll never be penetrated at range. Yeah, I'm like really happy with this ship. It's so cheap. It's crazy how cheap this is too. And how much, why do we have so much weight remaining? Okay, there, 105. So she'll be able to continue her shell slinging for quite a long time. The La France class. I really like it. And I don't really want to name one after a turtle. It just seems a little too egotistical. So this is what we'll do. Oh, yes, please, director for secondary firing. Let's just go through everything because I've made mistakes before. I keep looking at this. It is all or nothing. 42,000, that's fine. This is a consequence of everything else. That's fine. I leave medium. 31. How much would it be to get reliable? I guess we'll take normal just because I would prefer to have more rounds per gun. Oil, of course. Belt 12. I think that's good. 3.5 deck, 16-inch conning, 14. This is just a dream ship. It's really unfortunate that I won't be able to play with this, but it'll be a fun toy, I think, for XTRG. I'm a little bit sad that we won't be putting any torpedoes on it, because torpedoes are really effective, but essentially its 17-inch guns are as powerful as a torpedo. So, and if XTRG wants later, he can retrofit it, drop its rounds per gun, and add some submerged mounts. It won't be going fast enough to necessitate surface mounts. So that's it. The La France class. We will build her. Perfect. So we're a little bit positive on budget. So when I end this turn, we'll still leave XTRG with a positive monthly balance and some positive funds. So, okay, that's not really the whole story though, because we have these ships which need to be built, the Gamer Aléatoire, but they're so close to finishing, and then he'll have quite a substantial budget to work with. So I'm good. I'm happy by that. I mean, there's a lot of retrofits to do. Okay, so that's it. We have the La France class built. Let me reference the time. It says 1950 for me. I don't know what time in the video it actually is, but so at the 20-minute mark, essentially, we'll start our recap. Good. Okay, so the recap. In the historical gamer's term, he went to war with Italy again, the Second Franco-Italian War, and decimated Italy, brought them to their knees, the effects of which can still be seen. Only 2 dreadnoughts remaining. I mean, only 2 dreadnoughts have been built. They were all sunk. And only 6 battlecruisers. I think they were also all sunk. They're just basically a shadow of them, of their former selves. Only they built up a lot of heavy cruisers to kind of make up for the fact that they were lacking other capital ships. And that's never what you want to do. So after his term, he gave to us, by the way, the glorious Tortuga Power and the THG-2 class ships, which are both fantastic. He also acquired this Napoli class. If it sounds like it's named strangely, that's because it was an acquisition from the Italians. We've now renamed it the Jure Goberi. And all these ships have been upgraded to improve director firing and quality 1 guns, except for the THG-2, who still needs the quality 1 17-inch guns that we now have access to. So that's what he did, and then the reins were passed over to Turtle, Admiral Turtle Power, the son of Tortuga Power. That was in Historical Gamer, let's see, he died at the hands of, oh yes, I can't remember, of Arabia, Lawrence of Arabia. Lawrence of Arabia killed him, and that started our vendetta against the British. In Admiral Turtle Power's reign, we went to war with Britain, and this is what we said we wanted to do from the very first episode. And that war, just in a crazy feat, the French absolutely decimated the British forces. The Royal Navy started off with, I'm guessing in like mid-20s, around 25 dreadnoughts and around 16 battlecruisers. And, well, I mean, we can just see from the ship sunk screen. This is all what occurred during the Franco-Anglo War? I don't know how you would say it. The French-British War. It was a massacre. A massacre. So we see one. Let's just count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 dreadnoughts. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 battle cruisers were sunk. At what cost, you might ask? It's a fair question. Well, we did lose the Devastation, who has served so well. Served XTRG well, served Historical Gamer Jr. well, and even still served exceptionally well under Admiral Turtle's reign. We also lost 2 of these THG-2 ships, which are 43,000-ton behemoths. Exceptional ships, really great ships. And one of them we lost to a mine, which I felt very... it was a little unfair, but that's okay. It happened. And then we lost the Richelieu in the first action of the war. She was gunned down by 3 battlecruisers before the main battle line could get there to support her. Just instant death. Right after we had retrofitted her with quality 1 guns and everything. I mean, it was really sad to see her go. But in that first battle, that was the first one if I'm not mistaken, we did sink 2 dreadnoughts, or 2 battlecruisers perhaps. So she was avenged. But yeah, and so we actually have lost the lion's share of ships in our reign. But of course, we've killed by far the lion's share of ships in our reign as well. So you can see that in the Historical Gamers... Sorry, type. In the Historical Gamers 2 wars with the Italians, he sank 4 dreadnoughts and 7 battlecruisers? Yeah. And 2 heavy cruisers, etc. Which makes sense because the Italians didn't have as many ships anyway. And the first war, there wasn't... I don't think in his first war there even were battle dreadnoughts or battle cruisers, so he still did a really good job. But I'm not trying to use this as a measuring stick to say that what Historical Gamer Jr. did was poor. He obviously did amazing. He completely eliminated the Italians. I'm just trying to give you a barometer for how insane this kind of result is, that we killed like 16 dreadnoughts and 16 battlecruisers, just really on a scale of its own. Okay, so getting back to it. We leave the French Navy. Arguably, I would say we're the best in the world. Obviously, the Americans have not been trifled with. Maybe if I was to nudge XTRG any direction, it would be to go to war with them, because that would be truly the endgame opponent at this point. The Americans have some monster ships, I'm guessing, but they also have a really large number of ships just in general because nobody has ever fought them to kill off their old ships. So let's just look at their latest. I mean, it doesn't look spectacular. 23 knot, just a solid battle or dreadnought. Let's see their battlecruiser. 1929, they have the Saratoga. 10 16-inch guns. So this one's a little bit more scary. 39,000 tons. 16-inch guns. A little bit low on the belt armor. I don't know. I don't see anything like amazing there. I think that the ships that we have, basically the tools that XTRG has to work with, should be sufficient. But other nations we haven't gone to war with. Japan. I guess we've gone to war with everybody but Japan and the USA. Which seems very appropriate for a game as France. So, what has Admiral Turtle left? Well, he gave us the Gamer Aléatoire, which is kind of French for random gamer, which is what XTRG stands for, X, the random gamer. And this is the biggest ship in existence, and probably will finish the game being the end game ship. Note, its armor is significantly weaker than what we put on the La France class, but it's still just very good armor, especially the deck is top-notch, and I think the turret top was also top-notch. You can take a look. Yeah, turret top of 6 means that basically don't worry about the turrets ever being penetrated. So that's good, because we see that, when your turrets get knocked out, it can have a disastrous effect on the rest of the war, the rest of the battle. So this should just be able to hunt down anything. It's speed of 31. If I compare it, if we just kind of skim through the ships, we see that, okay, Germany has battle cruisers at 30. So we're 1 knot faster, even though we are still better armed than them. Austria-Hungary probably won't have anything better. They have 29. Britain, okay, well, they don't have any ships left, but eventually they will. We don't know anything about their ships, though, okay? Italy has battle cruisers at 30. Oh, it looks like they have one at 31. So this is the only one which rivals the Gamer Aléatoire, and it is only 8 15-inch guns, 9-inch belt armor. I mean, just obviously not going to stack up against the R class. Japan has 29, and the United States has 30. So she is the fastest, biggest ship in the game, and with really a deadly armament of 15-inch guns. So I'm quite happy about her. I think that XTRG will be able to put her to good use. That she probably should be able to take on, one-on-one she should be able to defeat any ship in the world, because she can run away from the few dreadnoughts that might be able to match her. And speaking of dreadnoughts that she won't be able to match, besides doing all these retrofits, which was a feat in itself, Admiral Turtle also gave us this La France class to commemorate our victory over the British. It is a 3 quad 17-inch gun turreted behemoth. Smaller, significantly smaller, and as such, significantly less expensive than the Gamer Aléatoire. So basically, we probably don't need any more battlecruisers. We can build these dreadnoughts, which should be exceptional. And these have really good armor. I don't know, should stand up to anything toe-to-toe, with the 17-inch guns just blowing massive holes in whatever they end up facing. But I would say that the real benefit of this class, the real reason why I like it so much, is because it's actually pretty cheap, which should allow for more of them to be built, and that would be a good thing. So that's the conclusion of this little summary, 10 minutes of it. And with that, we can click our last turn. Anything else I want to do? No. Okay, good. Our minesweepers were commissioned just in time. Okay, so the final, I'm going to mention these things one more last time just in case XTRG only has a chance to listen to this last little bit. We need retrofits on all of our things because we got Advanced Director just a couple months ago and they haven't been, none of these ships have been retrofitted. Unfortunately, that's a lot of work, but it has to be done. And the THG-2 also needs its 17-inch guns upgraded to quality 1. I think that that's basically it. I started upgrading the Cosmows. They should all be upgraded to the new version, which is currently on hold because I don't have time, don't have enough money to build it yet. And what else? Oh yeah, I think we have some old others. There's just a lot of other retrofits that should be done, but I'll let XTRG figure all that out. So thanks so much for everyone for watching, supporting this series. It has been a blast. I'm going to kind of echo what Historical Gamer said when he said that the series has been a lot of fun. He's kind of interested in doing something else. I've actually been kind of racking my brain, like what other things lend themselves so well to a Succession series or multiplayer in the fashion that we're doing here. And I haven't come up with anything better than the Historical Gamer's comments of Crusader Kings or EU4. I mean, obviously Crusader Kings being a Succession game to begin with lends itself exceptionally well to a Succession series. So if you have your own comments about other games that might be interesting, I'd love to hear it. And if we can like make sense of how multiplayer or Succession might work, then maybe we can try those. But otherwise, I've just been like, this has been a lot of fun. You know, having to deal with other people's designs, that was the whole point. And you know, I've learned a lot. Like, we can even see how much I've learned from the Cosmo. I didn't ever think 7-inch guns would be good on a light cruiser, but we've seen that they've actually just done exceptionally well. So, yeah, I'm really learning. And with that said, I look forward to how a transition will occur, how XTRG will figure out a way to bring his reign to a beginning. And by that I mean bring my reign to an end. And that's it. So we'll pass the torch over to XRG. I guess it's on you. And so until that next episode goes up, I will try to direct everyone over to him. And otherwise, thanks for watching, and take care.